Hi there. In this video we'll be looking at this ultimate speed portable jump starter with power bank UMAP 12,000 B2 and it's bought from Lidl. First of all, I've been looking at something like this for 5 years, if not more, but I just didn't want to fork too much money on them. The cheap ones were China special, could work or could burn down your car, you never know. But then this thing came along with a few features on it, and I do trust Lidl products, at least from safety point of view. So they say petrol engines up to 3000 cubic centimeters and diesel engine up to 2000 cubic centimeters. So for our American friends, this is a no-go because it will not be able to start your cars. But for the European cars, yeah, most of them are good. Most of them. We do have bigger engines than this, but in our family, no. We top at 2000 cubic centimeters, one diesel, one petrol, so this should be able to start both of those. Let's see what we have here, something that I like, a carry case, so I can put it inside the car. It has the clips that connect to the battery terminals, and also USB output with 3 types of USB, I think C, USB mini and USB micro or something like that probably, and an adapter that gives us a 12 volt socket from its 12 volt output, which is kind of nice. And it's a power bank. Let's see how powerful the power bank actually is. So it has 2 USB outlets, one is 1 amp, the other one is 2 amps, and a USB input 5 volt 1 amp, so it will be a bit slow to charge. Integrated torch, which is great, and it's suitable for temperatures as low as minus 21 degrees. Again, in Romania at least, that's good enough. Let's see if we have any English whatsoever anywhere, so I can give you a bit of it. Feel free to pause at any time. The capacity is about 12,000 milliamp hour, which is quite good. And 12 volt connection, it can give maximum of 8 amps in there. 4 LEDs for charge status. And yeah, I think it somewhere needs to say the maximum starting current of this thing, but I don't see it. This is the technology of the lithium batteries themselves, so lithium iron phosphate. But where's the starting current? Be back in a second. That's the starting current, 500 amps at 12 volts, and the capacity, keep in mind, it's a 12,000 milliamp hour at 3.2 volts, so at nominal lithium cell capacity. This is the real value that we care about, 38.4 watt hour, and that's what should be on all power banks in my opinion. That's the value that actually shows us how much capacity it's in there, because otherwise you need to know also the voltage at which it has this capacity. So yeah, they tell us something here with an asterisk. For what is the asterisk? Increased efficiency up to 90% usable battery capacity, and they tell us compared to conventional lithium ion cells. Okay, I guess I cannot verify that. So let's get inside of this box. For now I can tell you this is fairly heavy. So unless they put some lead in it like Chinese do, to make stuff look heavier than actually is and feel more premium, then it's a good thing. Okay-ish. I was expecting this to be smaller in the box, but I don't know why, because it does make sense that they put it directly in its carrying case and then in a cardboard box. So yeah, we need to cut this off. It's off. And see what we get in here. Okay. I must admit, I actually do like this. This is beefier than I expected. And it kind of gives me confidence. What I want to tell you from the start, I'm not going to test starting the car with this thing. And they tell us the real capacity depending on the voltage that you are using it on. Thank you, Ultimate Speed / Lidl. This is what you should see on all power banks. Rate the capacity based on the output voltage that you are using, or give the total capacity in watt hour like this right here. That is what actually matters to us. That's nice. So overall, yeah, it's the rubberized paint on it, soft touch, which is nice at first, but we will regret that in a few years when it becomes all gooey and sticky. So it has a premium feeling, don't get me wrong, but I would prefer just standard plastic. Overall, the quality of the construction, for me, it seems really nice. Everything stays together perfectly. Let's see. Charge capacity. Oh, no charge whatsoever. Or I need to hold this. I think I can hold it up until tomorrow. There's no charge in this battery, which is a bit of a bummer. Normally you kind of have a bit of a charge in batteries. So I guess input and let it charge. And in here, these are our connections for starting the motor, into which this thing is plugged in. And they have this nice little flap that closes them up. And you can use this just as a power bank. But let me show you a similar sized power bank. So this is a 37 watt hour bank. And again, this one 38.4. There's a bit of a difference, isn't it? So it's clearly this thing is much more rugged. Also in terms of weight, this is much heavier. At least twice as heavy as this little guy right there. So yeah, if you want to read anything in here, feel free to do it. It's giving us quite a lot of information. So it can take 1500 charge and discharge cycles. That's quite a lot in my opinion. What's 300 amp? Okay, so normal start current is 300 amp and peak current is 500 amp. It can not withstand that for too long. Yeah, okay. I like this thing. What I see up until now, I actually really like it, but cannot play with it at all because we need to put it to charge. So I guess I'll be back to you. This is going into the charger, cable in here, and we'll see how much current we can put into this. Now let's connect this. Current is rising and it has risen to 1.2 amps, so above the rated spec. And again, I'm not going to test the starting capability of this thing unless I get my hands on a car that has a bad battery by chance this winter, in which case that will be a follow-up video, because our cars both have perfectly fine batteries, so I'm not going to try and somehow simulate a bad battery and damage something on the cars. Doesn't make sense. But a friend did tell me a few days ago that he seems to have some trouble with his battery, so maybe I'm waiting for that to fail and help him with this to start his car. We'll see. If that does not come up, maybe we don't get a follow-up video. I do not have a clue, we will see, but for now I will just give my overall impressions and test what I can test without powering on a car, because I don't have one with a bad battery. It's that simple. While this is charging, I've read a bit about the new lithium iron phosphate batteries, and it seems, yes, they are also cheaper to manufacture, but sadly have a little bit lower energy density. But then again, they can be charged to 100% without sustaining damage, as opposed to standard lithiums that only like about 80% charge, not fully charged. And lithium iron phosphate also do not catch fire as easily, so they can handle a higher temperature before thermal runaway starts. So yes, I like this thing. For something that stays in your car, winter, summer, whatever, it's always there, heating up, cooling down. A safer battery in there that can also withstand um, more full charge discharge cycles and deeper ones. Yep, I agree to it. Charging for 3 hours now, and it seems to be still going. As for LED indicators, 3 of them are fully on and 1 is flickering, so it is close to being fully charged, at least the electronics thinks so, but weirdly enough, only 3500 milliamp hours went into this thing up until now, so still charging, still charging. So it sits a lot at this final LED. Maybe in time it will be more even, but for the moment this final LED is kind of doing all the work. The other ones just pass quite quickly. 8 hours later this thing is still charging. So at least for the initial charge these 4 LEDs are not accurate at all, because the bulk of the charge happens at the last LED, at least again in my case and for the initial charge. In the future we'll see. And this is what we got after about 8 hours and 15 minutes or something like that. So almost 10,000 milliamp hours we put into this thing, and it's still charging, and it finished charging in about 9 hours, and this is how much we put into it, about 10,000 milliamp hours. And obviously all lights are steady now. At this point, to see how much we can get out of it, because we saw how much we can put in it, I will be connecting this to the 2 amp output, and I will charge my phone a few times. I think I also need to power it on. And it's reset, so now let me charge my phone, probably for a few days until this runs out, I hope. I was charging through wireless charging, but it was not drawing that much below 1 amp, so I decided to remove the cable and plug it into the phone, but while it was removed, this timed out, so without a load, it basically shuts off. Let's power it once again and now properly connect the cable directly in my phone. Now it's in the phone directly. Oh, so, okay, we are above 1 amp, as you can see there. I'm not seeing about 1.16 amp or something like that, and it's also going below 1 amp, as we can see right now. It kind of decides by itself. So what I want to test now with a different cable, an original Huawei that is rated for, camera focus please, for 5 amps, you can see right here, and I've seen my phone pull almost 5 amps through this cable. So I'm going to test with this one. It is obviously thicker, just to make sure that's not I don't know, the limiting factor. But yeah, up until now we are not pulling the 2 amps. Oh, don't to drop this off the table. But yeah, I am doing this test with my mobile phone, so might not be such an exact test. 1 point. Okay, and it was the cable. But normally this is also not a bad cable. I've seen this pull more than 1 amp. Why did I keep that reversed when I could have just reversed the whole thing? Anyway, so we are drawing almost 2 amps from the 2 amp one. Let's get in here and see how much this one gives us. Normally it's a 1 amp. And it's giving us more than 1 amp. Which is great. This is starting to drop because my phone is almost fully charged. This is what we took out of the power bank until now, and I will continue to charge my phone these days from it until it is fully depleted. At the moment still has how many? 2 LEDs, 3 LEDs. Hard to see. I don't really like this LED arrangement. It's quite difficult to realize how many are on, but I think 2 of them are fully on now. But we'll continue to pull from it and see the total. And it's fully discharged. No more powering on. Let me plug this into something to see how much it totaled. Let's plug this in here and see where we are at. 4000 milliamp hour. That's not a lot. So basically we put in 10,000, but keep in mind we do have losses. So that means probably, I don't know, efficiency would be 80%, let's say. So inside this 8000 milliamp hour actually went in. And then we have another conversion loss. So we should have gotten out maybe 6000. But if you look a little bit online, I will link one of my videos in the description, this thing have about 75% conversion efficiency. So let me do the maths. So if we put in 10,000 and take into account 75% conversion efficiency both ways, we still should have gotten 5,600 and we only got 4,000. Yes, this will also use power itself, but I don't think that much. So yeah, there's that. Not great in terms of power bank part, at least efficiency. Maybe after several charges it will improve, but we are just getting 4000 milliamp hour instead of 7000 at 5 volts. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Let me charge this thing again and see. Repeating this test, starting to charge this with a 5 amp cable, so it will pull as much as it can. Let's see. 1.9 amps, so it is actually pulling more than the rated value. Okay, at least it will charge quick. Let's see how it looks like in terms of heat while constantly charging at 2 amps. It's rated at 1 amp, but it seems to be pulling 2 amps through a beefy cable. So it seems right in the 12 volt connector we have 51 degrees. Rest of it is a tad bit cooler. 45, 47, something like that. In this general area right around here. But it's not burning you. You feel it's hot, but not too hot. You feel like normal operating temperature, honestly. The rest of it is just a bit warm. So maybe not here, I can also not say hot. It's just warm. Actually, I just come from outside for a second, my hands are cold and I actually like to keep my hands on this, so yeah. Found this that should be able to give 2400 milliamps. Let's see. Seems to be just a tiny bit higher. I will test when my wife arrives home. She has a car charger that can deliver 5 amps at 4.5 volts, which is a weird voltage, but maybe this can somehow deal with that. We'll see. Well, this is awkward. This is 2500 less than the initial charge. But was the initial charge actually the outlier? Is that thinner cable actually also consuming power by itself? That's a bit weird. Let's charge my phone once again and see how much we draw from this thing. 1.81. Yeah, we still have the big 5 amp capable cable. So no, it cannot provide more than this. And my phone is able to draw more than this. That's for sure, because I saw it draw way more. So yeah, we are limited at discharging, but at charging it seems we are also going to this, which is above spec. Which is good, because we are charging in half the time. But the capacity still has me puzzled, honestly. I sent an email to the manufacturer and see if they can shed some light on this. And this is the heat level while charging my phone. So quite a bit less than while charging itself. So first charge on the phone is finished. This is how much we took out of the battery. Probably it will shut down any moment now. I will use my phone for a while and then plug it in again to charge for how much this will give to it again. Decided not to wait until my phone gets discharged again, and we are still in the 2 amp port, but I'm charging a power bank from this power bank. Sorry for stopping, I had to sneeze. So yeah, it seems to be pulling more than 2 amps at this moment, so we are over the spec of even that port, which is kind of nice. But yeah, we'll see how much juice we still have in it. It's already at the last LED. Me no liking that. Maybe you could just see it, it was shutting off. So let me plug this, unplug it obviously from here, because we cannot charge a power bank with itself. Oh, what? Anyway, and just plug it in here for it to show us what value it reached. Come on, go in there somewhere. So yeah, again 4000 milliamp hours. That's the real capacity that you can get out of it at 5 volts. Ready with the thinner cable, but we'll be using now the a bit beefier in terms of milliamps charger. So let's see what we get. 1.42. So a bit more than 1.2 that we were getting with that charger right there, even if the cable is actually thinner. Let's see how much we will put in this time, the third time. While that is charging again, let's take a quick look at the manual. Feel free to pause at any time. We'll be we'll be looking at the English version, and let me simply give you all the warnings in here. Yeah, there are a few of them. Again, only for 3-liter petrol and 2-liter diesel. Good for us, that's enough. Not suitable for domestic room lighting. Okay, I guess. But it's suitable for extreme temperatures down to minus 21 degrees Celsius. Yeah, in Romania I think that's enough. If you want to see all of this, here are the numbers, and on the right we have the explanation for them. Intended use. So let's continue. Again, the capacity at 5 volts. So yeah, I think there's a problem. This basically is a 7000 milliamp hour capacity power bank if you think in 5 volt term, which most power banks are 5 volt. So if we take that into consideration, what we actually put more than that. But if you take, I don't know, 80% or 75% efficiency, multiply it once when putting into the battery, and then multiplying it again with the same efficiency, yeah, we end up with 4000 and a bit in real capacity that you can extract from it at 5 volts, which yeah, is what I would expect from a power bank of this size. So it's okay. Just that first charge was really weird, where too much went into it, but we couldn't get out more than 4000 and a bit from it. So something was causing drawing power in there, but not ending up in the battery. Maybe the cable, or I'm testing again and I will tell you. But yeah, it is what it is. This is built with 4 cells, lithium cells, and they are in series to get the approximately 12 volts for jump starting the car. And yeah, charge time, as you can see here, 13.5 hours at 1 amp charging current. And you might be wondering, what? That's a lot. Well, you are charging 4 batteries almost the size of a phone battery at the same time. And if you are giving them 1 amp, you divide that by 4, and each of them is getting 0.25 amps. Yeah, you will be charging for this much almost. At 1.2, I think we charged for 9 hours or something like that, more or less. At 2 amps, maybe even, were we above 2 amps? I don't even remember, I tested so much with this thing. The charging time will be half, maybe 6 hours, maybe even a bit less. So yeah, the higher the charging current, the lower the time. At what we are charging, we were charging at max, I think we got 4 hours and a half, 5 hours for a full charge. So yeah, that's good. Again, operating temperature for LED, this is it. For power bank, that is it. Voltage, starting current 300 amps. So peak current, this is the current that you want to consider as max, from my opinion. That's the chemistry of the battery. Safety instructions, feel free to pause at any time. They are quite important for something like this. I like that they use the big text for them, so everybody is able to see it. This, honestly, it's not reporting quite properly. The first 3 of them are too easy to appear. This one lasts a lot. When discharging, this one lasts a lot. The other 3 go quite quickly, so yeah, it's a bit weird. Here it's telling us how to use the jump start feature. Again, it will not be covered in this video because I don't have a car that I need to jump start. So sorry about that. It's that simple. I'm testing everything else that I can, but not that. If I ever get in that situation, be sure it will be filmed and it will be put as a link in the description of this video. Flash mode and various questions right here that are answered. Every 1 or 2 months to charge this thing to make sure that we have it ready, because it could discharge by itself slowly, so you do not want to need it and not be ready, so charge it from time to time. This will be an extremely long video, but feel free to jump through it at what you consider interesting, and nothing that I can do more. Cables extremely flexible, so I like that. Clamp extremely strong, I also like that. As you can see here, right copper. Wire itself, yep, quite thick and print quite well in there, so that is good in my opinion. with screws. These things are connected to the plastic. Big springs in both of them, obviously. So yeah, I like the quality is quite nice on this. I like that. Here's the big beefy connector when you jump start the car that you plug into the power bank. We have a LED on it right here, and I think from here you kind of tell it, hey, I'm waking you up to jump start the car. But I need to read the manual and show, and so should you when you are jump starting a car. The little 12 volt adapter, we will test it after we finish charging. And this thingy to charge various devices. I will actually give it a quick test to see how much it can output on USB Type-C. And we will see about that. If this helps you with anything, here it is the info. So we have micro USB Type-C, and I think this is mini USB. Yes, some people do still have stuff like that, so why not have it? And I like this all in one. Yep, it's good as a backup to have in your car. It's actually quite good. This is not intended as a power bank that you use often, just as a backup for starting the car and making maybe a few emergency calls, because for my phone I can get out of it about 1.5 charges, something like that, for a Huawei P30 Pro. So in my opinion that's good enough. Will they ever go back in place the way they were meant to? Probably not. Yeah, I need to see how I can put them in there. Yoo-hoo! Managed to get everything in their half of box. Great. Now power bank can come here. And yes, you should also keep this thing with it at all times, or at least inside the car, because you will not remember what the LED on this thing means, if you can jump start or not when you plug it in and connect it to the car.
And this is what we got this time, with this charger and the weak cable. Yeah, maybe the cable is consuming, but this was able to provide a higher current while still keeping the voltage in check, and I don't know. It's confusing, but at least we know that we kind of draw about the same, 4000 and something and some change. So yeah, we put more into it, but maybe it's not reaching it. It's just passing through and being also consumed in the cable. I literally don't know.
Let's quickly test the 12 volt output. Not enough to discharge it, just a quick test. So plugged in, I will be plugging in this cooler. It's 47 watts on 12 volts, so that means about more or less 4 amps, just a tiny bit below 4 amps. The fuse on it, for example, is 5 amps. So plug this thing in. Fits quite snugly actually in here from what I see, although it was at an angle, so be careful to somewhat properly align it, although I'm blaming this thing for that, because you can see what weird shape it has. But hey, I still think it will be working. Let's give this a bell, and it powered on. So it can go for 4 amps, no issue whatsoever. But why only 2 lines and 1 line now? What? Now this I do not get. This was fully charged a moment ago. I didn't do anything to it. I charged it and let it sit, and then I came to do this test. Can we not shut it off? No, but we can power on the flashlight. This I don't get, honestly. This thing was fully charged. How does it only have 1 light now? This gets weirder and weirder. So you saw what I put in it. I didn't draw anything and just came here and maybe let it sit to shut off and then press the button again. No, still one. What? I'm going to draw from here and see if we can get those 4000 milliamp hour. This display is, no, it has no clue what it's doing basically, honestly, it's really weird. Okay, let's start discharging this thing again with the proper cable. And yeah, see how much we get out of it. That was really weird. This thing still has only one LED, so I don't know. It's really weird the way it shows the charge. Honestly, not accurate at all. So about this is what my phone pulled, and now I connected this thing once again, and yeah, it's pulling again 2.44, almost 2.5 amps. So this thing can give a lot of amps, but we are still on one LED. So this display right here with the 4 LEDs, it's, yeah, nothing to do with the real charge of it, sadly. And it's fully drained. That didn't really take long. So I'm quite curious to see how much we actually drew from it. 3690 milliamp hours. And this is the final charge before I'm going to put it in the car. And its original little cable is able to handle as much as this can pull on USB Type-C at least, so that's quite good. If you can use its own little cable even for charging it, it seems it's good quality. Testing something stupid so you don't have to. In the 2 amp power connector, power this on. This drew 2.4 something. This I know it draws about 0.5, and yeah, we are almost reaching 3 amps on the 2 amp port. Let's see on the 1 amp port, just a tad bit lower. So don't know what's up with that text that I cannot focus on. 2 amp there, and this is covered. 1 amp there, but they deliver way more than that, and I'm quite sure you are not supposed to connect something like this because yeah, they are basically drawing one from the other. I don't know what's happening actually here, although this for both of them are just inputs, not also outputs. Don't do that. Anyway, weird. It just gives and continues to give. Okay, in the car, let me test in the 5 amp port with the 5 amp cable and see what we can draw from this. Come on, I put the cable backwards. It's USB. Ah, Jesus. Second time I rotate it. And it was good the first time. Let's see how much it will pull. No, not pulling more than 2 amps, but it's already twice as much as it says it will pull, because it says 1 amp. And the flashlight itself is decently strong. It has a beam to it. Yeah, good. I like this. And it actually, beware of flickering. If you press just once on the button, flickering, press again, it's SOS mode, and press again, it's off. Or you can press 3 seconds, it's on, and then press again 3 seconds in, and it's directly off without intermediates. Really interesting construction in there. It has a lens that has a shape like I have never seen. It's really pointy. But I guess they did their simulation, because from an angle you can clearly see the phosphorus on the LED, so it means it does have the focus where it needs to have it. And that's about it for the video. Fully charged. As you can see, there's also a red light deep in there. Not sure what's up with that, if it's normal or not, but I think it was there from the start, I guess. Anyway, so again, long press, flashlight on, decently strong, long press, flashlight off. And if you need to jump start the car again, this is where you plug this thingy into with the clips for your battery, but no, that's not included in this video, but might be coming as an addition in the description of this video, because today my car started a bit slower than I would expect, and it was only -2 degrees Celsius. Problem is, I'm driving the car quite rarely because I'm working from home, and I'm not doing any sort of long trips. So the battery is suffering a bit. I will from time to time put a battery charger on it, but it's still suffering, the poor little thing. So this might get used this winter. I hope not, but in case it gets, then yeah, you will have a video about it for sure. But up until now, we tested everything else, although with weird findings, but hey, also I will put in the description the reply from the email I sent, in case I will ever get one. Who knows? And yeah, that's about it for this video. See you in the next one. Bye.